Good evening. Good evening. Hello. We are going to continue our scan so that we can scan our books. So make sure that you have a red pen and make sure you have all your highlighters as well as a black pen. But you want to make sure you have everything you need so that we can scan our books. And the way we scan is we surround, which is circle, we color, which is highlight, we accent, which is underline, and we notate in our book. So we're going to start um, in the surgery guidelines. And before we get started, just so you know, just so everyone is aware that we are in our 2026 CPT book, okay? 2026 CPT book. And we are going to the surgery guidelines on page 76. We're going to start off with page 76. So there's some things that we want to make sure that we write and highlight, okay? We're going to write and highlight. So let's get started. All right. So let's go ahead and under the CPT surgical package definition, which is here, we're going to go ahead on and let's just highlight all of these bullets because this is everything that's included, okay? And we're also going to highlight some words as well, just so that we know, all right? So let's go on the third line. You're going to see the word include, okay? And then we also want to go right under variety and then included. We're going to highlight included again. And there are specific details why we're saying included because we want you to know this is the surgical package. And then we're going to scroll down to this included, not scroll down, but just go down. And we're going to go ahead and color, okay? So we colored include, we color included, and we colored included, and then we did our bullets. Now we're going to notate. Let's notate down here. Well, I'm sorry, we can finish coloring so we can go in order so that we know. Follow up, let me just do this here because I think I'm going to probably use this one here the most. But you can use different colors. You can use different colors however you want. So we're going to follow up care for diagnostic procedures. And let's go ahead and color that. Okay. And then we're just going to color that those first two lines. Notice I said the first two lines, and that's what we needed right there. Okay. And then right under follow-up care for therapeutic surgical procedures, we want to write, we're going to notate 0 to 90-day, my handwriting is horrible, follow-up. You can write the word follow-up if you want to, but if you want to do the abbreviation for it is F/U for follow-up. Okay. And then under supplied materials, let's go ahead and color identify as 99070 or specific supply code. Let's go ahead and color that. We're also going to color reporting more than one procedure. Okay. And listen, you can start and stop this, pause this video if you need to, because I'm just kind of showing you guys on what we would do and how we will write things in the book. So we're going to go ahead and color separate procedure. And then when we do separate procedure, Let's go ahead and color separate procedure, and we're going to color until we get to the end. And then we're going to notate bundled right here. Okay. And then we're gonna also notate right in this area, in the note we're gonna put here, if not related, use modifier 59. Okay. Now, we do know there are some modifiers that takes the place of modifier 59, like XS, XW, XU, those modifiers there. Those those would be, you can use those. It would be, and I'm going to put them right here, XE, XP, XS, and XU. Let's do that. Now, so the reason why I'm telling you that, this is for air quotes. If you are in the work world and they don't want to use this 59, you can use one of these modifiers. You'll find these in your HCPCS book, and you can go and read the descriptions of these here, and then it'll tell you exactly how you need to do that. Okay. All right, let's turn so we can finish. And then I'm going to start moving a little bit faster here, but I just want to make sure that we are all on the same page. We're on page 77, and in this first paragraph up here, we want to go by where it says right here, where it says from other. Let's color that from other, and we're going to stop at specific right here. So now we want to color everything in between here. Okay, we want to color that, just that particular area right there. And if you want to, if it helps, you can even put a star there if you want to. Totally up to you. And this is also good to know here. These are unlisted procedures, meaning you can't find a specific procedure for any of these particular items. So everything that you see, the unlisted codes, they end in 99. So if you look at each section, you have the 10,000 series, 20,000 series, you have the 30,000 series, the 40,000 series, and it goes on the 50,000 series. And when you turn, you'll see that as well. So, but notice that every last one of these codes, they end in 99 because it's an unlisted procedure that you cannot find or they don't have. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn the page. Okay, and that's what you have there. All right, here's the continuation of those. And remember, your surgery sections are the 10,000 series all the way to the 60,000 series. All right. So now let's get into our other let's get into our codes. This is where the fun begins. So let's turn to page 81. We're in our 2026 CPT book, and we are going to page 81. All right, so if you looked at the other videos, you know we have parent codes and we have kitty codes. So with that being said, our parent code can be one color and our kitty codes can be one color. Now, if you have not looked at the other videos and you just need that, I'll show you briefly what we have done. This is what we have done. So the parent, and then the is in blue, and then we have the orange, which is our kitty codes. And then we circle, right? We want to surround the family. So that's what we're doing in our book. So that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, just to give you an idea. All right, let's go ahead and do it. So we're going to kind of continue with that. Let's go blue here. We're going to go to the parent code. And everything up until the semicolon, remember the parent code is the full description of all of these, well, this one and this one, up until the semicolon. So this one reads fine needle aspiration biopsy without imaging guidance. First lesion. That's this code. This one reads fine needle aspiration biopsy without imaging guidance, semicolon, each additional lesion. That's how this one reads. Okay? So we are going to highlight what? The parent code. And then we're going to have our kitty code or our description differently. Let's go ahead and do yellow, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and do yellow. Each additional lesion. So we're on page 81 and we're at 10021 and 1004. Okay. And then what we want to do is we want to make sure that we have our parenthetical notes highlighted as well, because we're going to do something that's going to make sure we're following everything we need for this particular area. So for your parenthetical notes, let's highlight. These are very important when you're taking that test and when you're going through the course. And you may want to take and do this here, this here. Now, because we're finished this area here, we are going to surround this family. I'm going to start here. We have just surrounded this family. Okay? We surrounded this family. Okay? So we're going to do that for everything. All right? So I just want to give you an idea of what we did here. Right? So we surrounded the family. Right? We colored, which you see there. We accented, well, we didn't accent, but we can. You can, if you want to accent, you can go first lesion and you can go each. And then we didn't have any notations for this area here, but you have everything that you need. So now we're going to move on and do the rest, right? All right. So 1005 final needle aspiration. This is the parent. Here is the kitty. Here is the parenthetical notes here. So what we're going to do, we are going to color. And I'm looking for that. Color. Okay. We want to make sure we color our parenthetical notes. And then when we're done, we're going to surround this family. And the reason why we include our parenthetical notes, and I usually put a star on them so that you know, that kind of gives you another hint at, hey, look at me. The reason why we do that is because so that we know exactly what it is that we need. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing here. Now I'm going to turn the page a tad bit just to make sure. Okay, so this is a parent code. So I know I didn't need to put an arrow to complete this here. So because it ends here, we're going to go ahead and surround, color, color. And we can accent. All right. And that was our notation. We're just going to use that as our notation. Okay. Now, let's turn to page 82. We're going to do the same exact thing. So now that you have an idea of what we need to do as far as getting our books, and make sure I don't have these markers, they aren't all that great due to how they kind of bleed through, but it's okay because I don't have to take the exam, you guys. So I'm just showing you guys how to actually do it. So let's go ahead. We're going to continue. We're going to continue. I'm at 1009, which is the family code. And this is the kitty code. And we have our parenthetical notes. So that I'm going to go ahead and, okay, and we're going to underline each, and we're going to underline first. All right. And I probably should have colored first. And see how we just made these things just stand out. And now we're going to surround this family. Okay. All right. So this is how we're just gonna keep going. Let's do it. Um, Remember, one color is from the semicolon and anything before the semicolon. That's going to be your full description. Okay. And look, we have all these parenthetical notes here. So guess what? We need to make this stand out. Now, if you're one of those persons who don't need all this color in this book, like some of us need this color because we know how we're making things stand out, you can not color the parenthetical notes and just do the asterisks. So you have 1 parenthetical, 2 parenthetical, 3 parenthetical, 4 parenthetical, and 5 parenthetical. And we are going to accent, and then we're going to surround. So this is us scanning our books. This is us scanning our books, and we're in Integumentary. All right. Same here. Remember to look for the semicolon, and anything in front of the semicolon, that's your full description, and anything after is what's the difference. Okay. We're accenting. And then we're going to what? Surround. Now, if you're someone who don't want all that highlighted, you can do this for your parenthetical notes. Just be sure that you know these parenthetical notes are specifically for these two particular codes. So, in other words, if you see a scenario and they have any one of these codes in it, right? It says do not report 10035 and 10036 in conjunction with. If you see this code, this code, this code, and this code in your description, in your multiple choice, you know you can automatically cancel that particular code out because it says do not report these two with these codes. It's automatically that's not it. Okay? Kind of give you a little hint right there. So some people may want it like this. Some people may want it like this. So we can kind of do it either or, but all in all, you're still putting your notes. Okay? Same thing here. Parent codes. We're looking for parent and kitty. Parent and kitty. So and when I say kitty, kitty is when it's indented. This is full description. This is indented. This is parent code. This is kitty code. So because they don't have any parenthetical notes under here, we can go ahead and surround. Okay. Let's go ahead and color. Accent. All right. And we don't need to notate. We don't have anything to notate there. So this is what's sticking out in this area here. All right. Let's keep it moving. So for this particular section here, we actually have a parenthetical note. So when we surround, we're going to include that. Okay. And now we're going to color. And accent. Okay. This is how we get our books together. And we are in the integumentary system. Okay, we're in the 10,000. We started off the surgery series. Surgery starts off in the 10,000 series. Okay. All right. And now we're going to do the same thing. Let's surround. We got parent, kitty, parenthetical notes. Let's go ahead and make sure we have that. Okay. And accent and color. Notate. Okay. And see some of these here that just parent codes and we don't have anything like for this one here. Um, this one here is specifically like if you want to, you can accent hematoma, seromate, or fluid collection. And maybe you just want to highlight those. Go ahead and highlight that or color that. Puncture. You got a parenthetical, I mean, you have a parenthetical note right here. So we want to make sure we do this. But since it's just a parent code, let's go ahead and do that. So puncture, aspiration, accent, and they got, well, let's go ahead and do that. Well, yeah. Abscess, hematoma, bulla, or cyst. Okay. This one. Couldn't figure out which one it was, y'all. And because it's just one description, let's just go there. Now, some of this, you can limit some of this if you want to. You can definitely limit. Like I wouldn't use this blue any other way. I do have another blue one, but it's not here where I am. So I would actually just use this here. Let me see. I can probably get a lighter blue so that you can see. It'll probably be a little bit better if I had the lighter blue versus um versus that dark blue there. Let's see. Okay. That's a parent code right there. This is a parent code and this is a kitty code. So let's see. So much better. So we're not going to use this blue. Okay. So much better. Now, even though I did that, we're on page 83, 10180. We're going to go ahead and we're going to accent complex. Complex. And this is going to be for postoperative wound. And let's go ahead and color. Color that. Okay. So now when we do that, now I colored everything from the semicolon before and afterwards. Now we're making the distinction. We have this and then this here. Now this verbiage that you see here, it says each additional 10% of the body surface or part thereof. FYI, part thereof is what's ever left over. So let's just say it was 25%. This code here was signified for the first 10%. This one was signified for the next 10%, which will make it 20. And then you'll use this code again for the other 5% for part thereof. Okay? And that's a parenthetical note, you guys. So to go ahead and put your thing there. So what we're going to do, surround. Surround. Same thing. Now this one here, we have parent, kitty, kitty. Let's see if we have some on the next page. And we don't. So we can go ahead and we have parenthetical notes. So that's going to be this whole entire thing here. So 11004 to 11006, including the parenthetical notes, we're going to surround. We're going to color from the semicolon. And let's make the distinctions. What's different? External genitalia and perineum. Abdominal wall with or without fascial closure. External genitalia, perineum, and abdominal wall with or without fascial closure. So we colored that. We're going to color our parenthetical notes. And we're going to notate. Now, what we're also going to do is we're going to accent with or without. With or without. Okay. We're scanning our books. We're scanning our books. So let's go ahead and turn to page 84. We're on 84. We're going to scan this in whole integumentary section here. So we got some things to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to move a little bit faster. Like I said, you guys can pretty much pause the video, stop it, whatever you need to do. Okay. And I'm going to surround. I'm at 11008 surround. And I have parenthetical notes that I have to color. Accent, accent, accent. And let's make some distinctions up here. Because this is the parent code, it says removal of prosthetic material or mesh abdominal wall for infection, for chronic or recurrent mesh infections. That's what we want to annotate. We want to accent this here. That's what I want to make the distinction of. And then I'm going to highlight that. Okay. So parent code, kitty code, kitty code. So we're going to do this. You do this. You put an arrow. And then what you do up here is make sure you include. There you go. So now, you know you have to go up there to complete that. Okay. So everything before the semicolon and after, these are the distinctions. This is the difference. These are the differences. That's why it's so important. Okay. We're going to color those and we're going to color the parenthetical notes. And we're going to annotate. Notate. I keep saying annotate, but we're going to notate. We're scanning our books. We're surrounding. We're coloring. We're annotating, which is underlining. And then we're notating, putting out asterisks. And as we get further in, we're also going to do some other things too. We're actually going to be putting some notes in some certain areas as well. So just know that you'll have some notes in some areas as well. So all right, so 11042 is a parent code, kitty code, and it says this here, surround. Okay, we're going to color. We're going to color some more. Okay. And we have our parenthetical notes. Notate. There you go. Same thing, 11043 for 6. We're going to keep that parenthetical note in there. Surround. Color. I can't see the parent. Oh, there we go. Okay. It's the or part thereof, you guys. We're coloring. Okay. And let's do accent. I want to accent that on all of them, you guys, because I want you to be mindful of that. Okay. And then we're going to notate. Okay. Let's move on. Parent code, kitty code. Let's check to see if we have to put an arrow. And yeah, because we have parenthetical notes on that side. So let's go ahead and surround. And we're going to just do an arrow right there. Okay, letting us know we have more on that side. That's what that means. We have more. All right, and we're going to color. Accent. All right, we don't have to notate. But when we turn over, there's those, we're on page 85 at the top, there's those parenthetical notes, right? So we're gonna do this because we know that arrow is gonna come back this way here. So let's go ahead on and color and then notate. Okay, same here. We have parent code, kitty code, kitty code. So what we're gonna do, surround, and we can just surround this whole thing right here. And we're gonna color. This is the difference. Single lesion, 2 to 4, more than 4. All right, and what we want to do here, let's go ahead and notate. Put 5 and up. Okay, 5 and up, because it says more than 4, which means it should be 5 and up. Okay, we just scanned that. All right, now we have a couple, let's go in here. We have a couple biopsies under this section here we want to make note of. We have a tangential biopsy. And if I pronounce it wrong, I'll just go ahead, don't charge it to my language, charge it to my heart. Punch biopsy, incisional biopsy. Okay. And they kind of go, even though they're like that, if you look at them, they kind of go, once you read them, um, you can actually just 1, 2, 3, since we know we have 3 different types of biopsies. All right. And listen, you see how I can barely grab this page? If you want to get those rubber fingers to put on your finger, you can get those rubber fingers and get that as well. Those help, especially when you're trying to turn the page in the book. You definitely need that. Okay. All right. We're on page 86. And whenever we have tables like this, whatever procedure you have on this side, it always tells you what code you need to report and how many times you need to report it. So for this here, we're going to leave this as is because it's self-explanatory. It's self-explanatory. Okay. And the only thing we have underneath there is different biopsies. So those are parenthetical notes. So let's go ahead and just that, 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 that. And to just kind of, let's do that. Parenthetical notes, they are important. They are important. So we have a parent code and a kitty code here. And then we have a parenthetical note. So we're going to go ahead and surround. And the reason why I'm surrounding because this here is kind of goes with that. So we're surrounding all of that. And I'm actually just going to leave it like that. So let's go ahead with our semicolon. We're coloring. Okay. Now listen, by all means, if you guys feel like you're doing too much highlighting, if it's too much for you, if you just want to use two, please do so. Because look, when you get finished, your book is going to look like this. You're going to have so many notes. You just want to make sure you have everything that you need. Things to stand out, stuff for you to read. You see? So we're just going to make sure we're going to do that, okay? All right, let's surround. Okay, and we can also surround this here. We'll go ahead and do two at one time. And we're going to do semicolon before, semicolon, and then we're going to color the difference, color the difference, and color our parenthetical notes. And annotate, notate. And we're going to do our entire book like this. We're on page 87, same thing. 87. Surround. Let me see if they have. Okay. All right. Where is our semicolon? Gonna color the difference. And color parenthetical note. Notate. Remember, our part thereof is whatever's left over. So this code here signifies up to and including 15. So let's just say we have 27. So this code will cover the first 15 of the 27. Each additional 10, okay, because we have 12 left over, it'll cover that 10, which would be 25, and then we have 2 left after that. or part thereof, meaning you code this code twice. One for the 10 and then the other for the 2. Okay? Or part thereof. We've surrounded that, and now we're going to color the difference. We have our parent code. So now we're going to have to go on the other page, the next page, because we have to finish with our kitty codes. Okay? We have to finish with our kitty codes. And we're going to do this because that means the parent code is on this page here before. So let's go ahead and finish the difference. Okay, there you go. All right, we're going to surround parent, kitty, kitty, kitty. Let's surround the family. Okay, and now we're going to color the description and the parent. And now we're going to color the difference in each code. Okay, and we don't have any notating in that area there. And we don't have any parenthetical notes. Same thing. This is going over to there. Let's make sure, do we have any codes? We don't have any more on that side there. So we're just going to make sure we know this. Let's surround. Which will bring you here. Okay. We've surrounded. Let's color the parent description. And we're going to color the difference. We don't have anything to accent or notate. Okay? These are self-explanatory. We're going on page 89. We at 11,400. 11,400. Okay? And we have some things we are going to notate. Oh, wait. You got to turn back, you guys. Oh, yeah. We're going to put some notes here. Let me see where I want to put them at. Yeah, let's turn. We can do it on this side here. Right down here. All right. So we're going to put some information that we're definitely going to need. Okay. And this is going to be for our excisions. All right. And let's do this just so that you are aware. Going to highlight excisions, but we're going to surround benign. Okay. So that you know we want this to stick out. We want this to stick out. And the reason why I'm doing that, just to give you a full idea of why, is because on page 90, at the bottom, you have excision, malignant lesions. So we're going to do the same thing and highlight that. We're going to color that, right? And then we're going to circle malignant. We're going to make that stand out. Now, we're going to need some tips, right? We need some tips. We have to notate our tips for this area. So these are things that you should, when you are looking for, these are the things that you need to remember, okay? So one, and you can put this here, you can name it, put one, whichever, however you want to, and I'll do one just so that make it easier for you guys. So number one, you code benign or malignant. Two, code each separately. Three, code according to body area and size. Four, simple closures are bundled. Okay, don't code. Now, what do I mean by that? That means whenever they have a closure of a benign or malignant lesion, if it's a simple closure, it's already included. Simple closures are bundled and it's already in there. So you don't have to code a closure separately. But if it's an intermediate closure, that's when you start coding separately. Okay, come on, we got some more notes. 5, modifier 59 for different procedure. Yeah, I do not have the best handwriting, but hey, look, we're going to make it do what it do. And 6, modifier 58 is for your re-excisions. And 7, we're going to code subcutaneous lesion from the 20,000 series. So you should have these notes at the bottom of page 89. This is stuff you want to remember when you are coding your lesions. Remember, code benign or malignant. So make sure you are in the correct area. Okay? So that's why we want to do that. Now, we're going to make some things stand out here as well because we want to make sure we're in the correct area, in the correct, what we have on here, the correct body area and size. So the body areas, that's what we want to make different. So we know we're going to highlight benign and then your body areas. This is for the trunk, arms, and legs. And then you have your sizes. This here is 0.5 or less. This is 0.6 to 1.0, 1.1 to 2.0, and 2.0 to 3. This is how we make these different. So When you're abiding by the rules, you're going to code benign or malignant. We're benign. Code each separately. Let's just say we have two. The first one we're going to code according to body area and size. It has to be on one of these body areas, and then you have to go by whatever size it is. Okay, so that's how you do that. And if they do a simple closure, it's already included in these particular codes. Now, if we have another lesion in this same area, let's just say the first one was on the trunk. The second one, let's just say it's on the leg. Once again, we have to start over. Code benign or malignant. Benign. We have to code it separately. Now we're on the leg. And then we have the body area, which is the leg. And then now we have the size. And if it's a simple closure, it's already included in these codes. However, if it's an intermediate closure or a complex closure, you get another code from that particular section. So that means you're going to need two codes. I hope that helped. All right, let's go. Let's turn the page. And we're going to do the same thing here. And we need to finish. Oh, I did it in blue. Let's finish because we have kitty codes over here. And yes, I need to surround. Let me go back because I didn't surround. Now y'all see why these books be all over, why we have everything. And we're going to do that. Now we surround it there, right? But this is why it's so important to do this to your books and put these notes, because that way when you're taking the test, then you know exactly how to use your book and you have some key things there. All right. Same thing for this area here. Parent code, kitty, 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 right? Parenthetical note. So we're going to surround. Now, this little parenthetical note that you see that we are highlighting, that we're coloring, I should say, it says for unusual or complicated excision, add modifier 22. Unusual or complicated, meaning they're taking extra time. So it's telling you use 22 on these particular codes. All right. So now body area, we have scalp, neck, hands, feet, and genitalia, right? Oh, and benign. And then the sizes. This one is 0.5 or less, 0.6, 1.1, 2.1, 3.1, and over. That's what you want, you guys. We're on page 90, and we just did 11.420 to 11.426 with the parenthetical note. And we're going to do that throughout this section here. So same thing here. We're going to surround. See how I didn't close that? These are the kitties with the parenthetical notes. So let us know we have to look here, right? So this is benign. Oh, I used the wrong one, but that's okay. This section has face, ears, eyelids, nose, lips, mucous membrane. And now the sizes. And we got our parenthetical notes. And that's 2. Same thing here. 11,450. This says hidradenitis and axillary. All right. And here's the difference. It says simple or intermediate repair. And we're going to go ahead and accent that. And this is going to be complex repair. So we're going to surround that area right there. And this says hidradenitis inguinal. Simple or intermediate and complex. Simple or intermediate and complex. And we're going to surround that area. And we're going to complete our surround like that. And we're going to color hidradenitis, perianal, perineal, or umbilical, simple or intermediate and complex. And let's underline parenthetical note. That means when we surround, that means if you're in the right section with your body part, you should not go out of this circle. That's why we're surrounding. And we're going to do the same thing in our malignant section as well, right? So we're going to go malignant. And this is trunk, arms, or legs. Once again, we're going to go size. We need to surround. Let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so we know those 2 right there. Okay. Malignant, scalp, neck, hands, feet, genitalia, size, and we have to finish on the other side, and I'll do it like that. Okay. I'm going to surround, do that there. And we're going to do this. We're on page 92. And we're going to surround and go up. That was 1124, 11,624 and 11,626. Okay. All right, let's keep moving. Same thing. We can go ahead and surround this area here. Parent, kitty, 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 kitty. Surround. Color, malignant. Face, ears, eyelids, nose, lips. Color, size. Okay. And parenthetical note. Okay, we're in the next area. All right, and we have parent and kitty. Surround. Description. Just of the parent, the full code. There we go. Same with this section here. We're going to surround, including that parenthetical note. Oh, here's the boom. Avulsion, partial. So we got some words in here we want to actually accent, okay? There we go. Let's do partial or complete. And then we want single, and we're going to do each additional nail plate. And we got that parenthetical note right there. And notate. All right. We are on page 92 and we're at 11,750. We're at 11,750. Okay. Okay, let's keep going. Parent, 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 parent. Okay, well, all those are parent codes. So we don't have much in there. All of those are parent codes. But we can make these parent codes stick out. We got a parenthetical note right there. Okay. So let's do this. This parent code says excision of nail and nail matrix. So this is going to be for excision, and this is going to be partial or complete. And then you'll see that. This one is biopsy. And we're just making some things there out. This one here is repair. This is reconstruction. And this is wedge excision. All of those are different. All of those are different, and we just made them stick out. And if you want to accent that, you can accent them as well. So let's accent by underlining. Okay. All right. Parent kitty kitty. Remember we have the semicolon. And this is the difference. And we're going to surround. Okay. Parent kitty, parenthetical notes. Surround, let's do it like this. This might be a little bit easier for me to hold. Okay. Uh-oh, sorry about that. All right, on 11,900, semicolon. And we can switch up, you guys. I'll probably switch up and do a different color in a moment. But it kind of gives you the idea of what you need in here so that you know what's the difference. So you can definitely do that. Parent, kitty, kitty, parenthetical note. We're going to surround, right? We're going to color the difference. These are new. You could tell they're new because they don't come off as easy, these markers. But that's okay. All right. So now you get a gist of what you have in your book, right? Because you want to make sure that when you are in your book, you know when you see an asterisk, it's your parenthetical note. You know when you see a certain color, those are your parenthetical notes. That's why I'm staying consistent with my colors throughout. Okay. And if you don't know the reason why I'm using a red pen, red helps you remember as well. If you write in red, so you know how some people have to write things to remember? Well, if you write in red, it also helps you to remember. So parent, kitty, kitty, kitty. And remember the kitty is indented. So we're going to surround, semicolon, difference, coloring the difference. And we don't have a parenthetical note. Parent, but we got these here. Parent, parent. We got some parenthetical notes though. Y'all, these are going to be helpful. That's why we're surrounding those parenthetical notes because it pertains to those codes that's in there. And because it pertains to those codes, that means they mean something. It's going to tell you something that you actually need when you are looking to code. All right, so parent, 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 and then you have these parenthetical notes. We don't ever want to forget about our parenthetical notes. Parent, parent. That's on at 11,982. Okay. All right. So now we are going to write some other tips for when we do our repairs. So we are in the repair section, and there's a couple things that I want you guys to actually highlight in the repair section. And let's go ahead and do this with blue here. Repair closure. Now, what we want to do is, and I want to highlight this here, this includes staples, sutures, or tissue adhesive. Color that area, that line right there. Color those things right there. And then on the side, let's go ahead and write the word glue. Glue. Now, what is a simple repair? Let's find out. And let's do this. I'll use purple. It may be too dark, but that's okay. Simple repair. And this is a simple one-layer closure. That's what simple repair is. That's what I want you to do. Simple repair. We're on page 93. Simple repair. And this says simple one-layer closure. This is under your repairs and closures. Okay? And we're going to turn the page. Remember, you can get those rubber fingers. They really do help. All right? Now we have intermediate repair. So we're going to highlight intermediate repair. And what we want to go on the 1, 2 lines underneath and highlight deep layers. Intermediate repair, deep layers. And then we want to highlight a color complex repairs, right? And right here where it says exposure of bone, fine exposure of bone. You want to highlight exposure of bone. And we want to go all the way to cartilage, tendon, or named neurovascular structure. Okay. Now, what must we remember about our repairs? So we're going to do the same thing. Let's write some notes. 1, we need to know what type of closure. And that's going to be what? What we just highlighted. Simple, intermediate, and complex. Okay. Number 2, location on body. Number 3, you want add repair of the body and type area. Add repair of the type, of the body and type area. Number 4, sequence the most severest first. Number 5, yeah, my handwriting is horrible. It's okay, y'all. Modifier 59 for different subsequent repairs. Okay? This is how you're going to code your repairs. This is the actual steps in coding. So that's why we're putting these things in here so that you know. Okay? And I want to go under, oh, we're right here. See right here? We're going to write some things right there. We're going to notate some things there as well. We're going to go SCAR. We're going to do revision, undermining, stent, extensive, wound debris. Okay. And we're writing this right by extensive undermining on page 94, right by the picture, extensive undermining. SCAR, revision, undermining, stent, extensive, and wound debris. Now, this is your steps in coding the repairs. And you're going to do this throughout your repair area. Okay. And of course, I wrote this is the parent code, kitty code, because it's indented. Anything you see indented is the kitty code. And what I already done here was I actually already highlighted. You see what I did there? I highlighted already in this particular area. So we're going to have simple. And of course, same thing we done in the benign and the malignant lesion area, the body parts. So we got scalp, neck, axilla, external genitalia, trunk, extremities, including hands and feet. And then size. And guess what? You actually don't have to do the size if you don't want to. Just do the body parts if you want to. 12011, we're going to highlight face, ears, eyelids, nose, lips, and or mucous membrane. In 12, in 12020, 12020, wound dehiscence, superficial wound dehiscence. And this says simple closure. And this says with packing. And we're going to go for the parenthetical notes. So what can we do? Surround. And then I'm actually going to surround. How about that? Same thing over here. Intermediate repair, highlight scalp, axillary trunk, and/or extremities, excluding hands and feet. Okay. Surround. And we're going to surround here. Remember, we're making distinctions here. In 12041, we're doing neck, hands, feet, and/or external genitalia. Same thing here. 12051, body parts. Face, ears, eyelids, nose, lips, and mucous membrane. And size. Surround. Trunk. Oh, we're in 1310, trunk. 13120, scalp, arms, and/or legs. 13131, forehead, cheeks, chin, mouth, necks, axillary genitalia, hands, and/or feet. 13151, eyelids, nose, ears, and/or lips. Okay. Now let's make we made some distinctions there. I called out all the body parts, and we're going to surround. Let's make the distinction on the sizes in these things, as well as our parenthetical notes. Okay. Size. That's what we're doing. Remember, we have to include, so we're going to surround and include that parenthetical note for that area. And we're going size. And then we're going our parenthetical note. Same here. Surround. Oh, parenthetical notes. Size. Okay. Notate. We got our last one. Surround. body part, surgical wound dehiscence. This is going to be secondary closure, and we are going to accent secondary closure. And then we're going to go ahead and do our parenthetical notes. Remember, you can start and stop this video when you need to make sure that you have everything that you need, okay? And we're going to put some keywords on here as well. Let's do some, where am I? Oh, right here. I forgot to put them down at the bottom. Here goes some more notes. We're going to notate. So your complex. Remember, we got to do this. Complex. So keywords, let's write this. Keywords let's write ATT to XYZ, plastics, stretch, pull over skin, we're writing this at the bottom of page 96. Rearrange, advanced flap, and yin yang flap. And transfer. So we're writing this at the bottom of 96. These are keywords. When you are in this section, if you have not seen the videos or anything yet, you will definitely see um, you'll definitely see some of these words and some of the things. So this goes under your complex. And we just want to write those things so that we are aware of what's going to happen in this particular area here. Okay. All right, let's turn. And we're going to go to adjacent tissue transfer or rearrangement. And this is flaps. Let's write this here. Flaps cover the repairs. All right. So this is where we get all of those plasties from, so you'll know what I'm talking about. Z plasty, W plasty, VY plasty. Okay. And then you have flap. And that's what you want to accent. And we're going to color that. So we took in accented Z plasty, W plasty, VY plasty, and flap, and then we colored it. And now for this section here, now we're going to give you the same thing I gave you directions on how to code your repairs, the same way I gave you the directions on how to code your lesions. We're going to do that for this area here. So we're going to go ahead and start notating some things here. So the first thing we want to do is, all right, let's do it right. Let's see. So let's do that right here in this area here. So we're going to make sure that we know this is for this area. Number 1, code according to location on body. Code according to location on body. Number 2, same thing. Code according to size of the defect. Number 3, code separately. Number 4, excisions are bundled. Don't code. 5, can code complex closure. 4, let me see here what I have here. Code complex closure for, I don't know what word I have here, y'all. I'm trying to read my own handwriting and I don't know. Code complex closure for, I may have to come back to that. It looks like wound. Wound. That's what that is, for wound. Whew, geesh. All right. So this here is for this. All right. That's why we put this arrow here. And if you want to go further, you can put a line up here and you can put your arrow like that as well so that you know this is for this. And this is what I'm going to do. Okay. Just so that we know. All right. Well, we are on page 98. Adjacent tissue transfers. Okay. Oh, and I'm sorry, I didn't have you guys to highlight a couple words. Skin replacement. Let's highlight some of these words here up in here. Sorry about that. Surgical preparation, autograft, and skin substitute graft. That's the only thing I want you guys to highlight there in this area here. Surgical preparation, autograft, and skin substitute graft under skin replacement surgery. Okay. Now, this section here, we got some more notes. So we're going to have to see, let's see where we can put the notes at for this here. Oh, we don't have much to work with. So what we can do is, if y'all want to, let me see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so we don't have much to work with at the bottom. We have 8 things to write. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to write C, notes, page, 118. This is where we're going to write it at. And we're going to do 118. On page 98, for adjacent tissue transfers, we're going to put C notes, page 118. And we're going to put notes, page 118. Okay, now let's go to page 118. And what we want to write is adjacent tissue repairs. Now, we're going to have some keywords. You can put a line here if you like. And we're going to have some keywords. We got surgical, pre-wound, pre-wound, prep and prepare, preparation, scar, and contracture. Okay. Now, this is how you will code it. You will code according to location on body, code according to size. That's number 2. Number 3, add wound prep. Number 4, modifier 59 for different wound. Number 5, not for removal, not for removal, or debris. See, debridement. Let's put that in parentheses. See, debridement. Put C debridement in parentheses, but then we want to finish this statement, not for removal or debris, an active wound, and active wound. So not for removal or debris, in parentheses, put C debridement, close parentheses, an active wound. For 6, watch, are part thereof language. And then 7 is separate procedure for prolonged cleansing. Okay? So now we just wrote our adjacent tissue repair notes. So we're going to go back to this right here because we wrote our notes. And now we're going to highlight some things. We're going to color some things there. Surgical preparation 15002 to 15005. We're on page 103 now. I'm sorry, we're on page 98 now. And we're under definitions. And it's a couple things I want you to actually color. So we're going to go down to patient condition may require the closure of. We're going to go right here. And we're going to stop at negative pressure. Patient conditions may require the closure or application of graft, flap, or skin substitute to be delayed, but in all cases, the intent is to include these treatments or negative pressure. Okay? All right. And we're going to go down to skin cell suspension autograft. Let's go ahead and highlight that. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and turn. Now for this section here, we also have some keywords that we're going to write down at the bottom. We're going to write them in the middle. Let's see if we can write these keywords in the middle here, because it's going to be for this area right here. Okay. So let's highlight autographs, page 99. We're going to go right here, do not report 97602. We're going to gross contamination and prolonged cleansing. So on page 99, we're going to come down to autographs, tissue, cultured autographs other than SCSA. And underneath there, you're going to highlight do not report 97602. And then just go one line down and it says gross contamination. And then we have prolonged cleansing. Highlight that. And now we want to write some notes for here. So let's see how we can do that. I want to write some keywords here. So I'm going to write them like right down right here in this middle. I'm going to write these keywords. My first keyword is going to be autograph. Homograph. And I'm putting it close to this paragraph because I wanted to know that we're over here, and we're gonna put a an arrow where it belongs, okay? Um, allograph, xenograph, and full/split. And let's go ahead on and surround this here like that and bring this all the way up, and we're gonna point it right there. Okay, that's where we want that to be, right there. And then we just want to know, we want this here, this area right here. We're going to put right here, we're going to notate right here from patient, comma, split and full thickness. Split and full thickness. Right there. From patient, comma, split and full thickness. And then skin substitute graphs. Let's highlight that. Let's color that. And for this section here, skin grafts, and it goes onto this page here. But what we want to know about this area here, let's go ahead and write not from patients. And I'm going to take my arrow and go right here. Okay. Not from patients. And we're going to go right there. Now, if you can get it better than that, please, by all means, do so. But we have a whole lot. Now, let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of skip. And the reason I want to get to the area where we have to write, where we have to notate, because I think now you guys know how to highlight the book, right? You know how to color in your book. But notes are very important to me. So we're going to skip around. Let's go to page we're going to code 15733. Let's go to code 15733. Okay. Now, for this area here, we have some notes we need to put right there. That's what I'm most interested in. Okay. So for this area, this is coding flabs. Coding flabs. So we want to go code FLAB as in boy, S, code flabs. So one, we need to know, and we could put a line like that. So one, we need formation. Two, we need, let me see, y'all, I can read my own handwriting. Deluxe transfer. I don't know what 2 is. Let's just go to 3. I'll come back to it. 3 is transfer. 4 is skin graft. 5 and donor flap. Oh Lord, I can't even spell donor flap. And you want to put separately in parentheses after that. Number 5, you want to put separate immobilization. Device. And you put in parentheses cast. Number 2 looks like it says delay. That's what it is, delay. And what we want to remember out of all of this is location and formation. Location and formation. Okay. All right, let's go to another page where we have some notes because we need to, I want to make sure we have enough notes in here. They'll all make sense when you start coding. We are going to Burns Local Treatment. And we're going to page 107. Go to page 107, Burns Local Treatment. And we're going to put at the bottom how to code burns. Okay? So we're going to write it right down here. How to code burns. You can put your line there. Number 1, percentage of body area. Number 2, depths of burn. And number 3, dressings are bundled. And in parentheses, put don't code. Okay. And if you want, let's do that right there. Now we're going to go to page, let's look for destruction of benign or malignant lesions. We're going to 17108, which is on the next page at the bottom of 109. And remember, I'm doing notes, you guys, so that we can have everything written in here. So under the destructions, destruction of benign or pre-malignant lesions. All right. And the keyword here is pre-malignant. So go ahead on and color pre-malignant in 17,000. Now, at the bottom of 1710, just at the bottom, period, because it's going to be this section here. So all of this, we want to write this down. Watch diagnosis. Okay. Benign and pre-malignant are not the same. Benign and pre-malignant are not the same. Okay. And let me see. You're going to learn this in the course, but let me do this. We're going to do this here. 9%, 9%, 9%, 9%. Okay. This is how you're going to do this here. This is 1%. This is 9%. The legs is 9%. And I think it's 9% front and then 9% back. Same here, 9% front, 9% back. The trunk area is the same thing. You have, so this whole trunk area in the front will be 18. 9 plus 9, that's 18%. On the back, it will be the same thing. This one arm is 9%. This one arm is 9%. This leg is 9% on the front, 9% on the back. Same over here. This leg is 9% on the front, 9% on the back. The genitalia is only 1%. Okay? So this here is called rule of nines. The rule of nines. So when you don't have any kind of percentages in your scenarios, then you use the rule of nines, which most of our scenarios have percentages. Okay, so that means if you have a second-degree burn on the arm and a third-degree burn on the leg, that means you have 18% of this leg and 9% of this arm. Okay, the rule of nines. Now they'll tell you if they get specific and say it's just the front, then you do 9%. But if they don't say front or back, then it's the 18%. Okay. All right, let's make some more notes. Okay, so let's go to Mohs micrograph. Let me tell you what page to go to. Ooh, we got a lot of notes for this here. A lot of notes. I can't even get the page. Come on, that's why I need the thing. Mohs micrographic surgeries. All right. Mohs micrographic surgeries. Let's get into it. Let's go to page 111. All right. So we're going to surround this. Okay. We're going to highlight our parenthetical notes. All right. And then we're going to make things stand out here. First stage up to 5 blocks. Each additional stage up to 5 tissue blocks. That's the difference with these two codes. All of this here is the same. And we want to highlight, no, I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and accent, head, neck, hands, feet, genitalia. Muscle, cartilage, bone, tendon, major nerves, and vessels. And I do that just to call them out, but you can just put the one line there. Okay. Now we want to take and do the same thing here with that parenthetical note. Surround. First stage, each additional stage. And we got the parenthetical note. And this one says trunk arms or legs. And you can highlight this if you want to. Okay. Now, even though this is an add-on code, but this is the most important of this. They say use 17315 in conjunction with 17311 to 14. So you can use this in any one of these here. All right. And this will be the remaining, write this on the side, of any blocks. Remaining of any blocks. That's what this one here is. All right, now let's make some notes so we know how to do this, right? So let's go right here. We're going to go, each slice equals a stage. And each piece is a block. We're at the bottom of page 111. Now, number 1, this is how we're going to code this here. Code according to location. Number 2, first stage is 17311. To 17313. First slice only with up to 5 blocks bundled. Okay. Remember, you can start and stop this video so that you know. Okay. And I have some more to write. It's telling me I need to stand. Okay, so 1, 2. Let's do 3 right here. Each additional stage, last year they gave us so much room at the bottom of our books. This year we barely have anything at the bottom of our books. It's 17,312 to 17,34. And let me recant my statement. 17,311 and 17,313 is the first stage. Each additional stage is 17,312 and 17,314. I don't want to confuse anybody. And it have up to 5 blocks. Up to 5 blocks. And I have some more to write. So what we're going to do is we have 3 more lines. 3 more lines. So I'm going to put continue page 118. And we're going to go to 118. And we're going to put Mohs micrographic surgery. Let's put a line there. And we're going to put number 4. Let's put a plus sign in parentheses, and we want to put blocks. Add blocks are coded each separate with add-on code 17,315. Number 5, code separately. Number 6, code repair slash ATT slash graphs additional. And yes, we're going to highlight that, okay? So just in case we have to write something else, let's go ahead and put a line right there. And we're going to do this like that. And that's on page 118, okay? The most important is those. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. We was not finished. We really was not finished. I am so sorry. I see my continue thing here. So number 7, cold biopsy only if diagnosis for cancer during same encounter as MOH procedure with modifier 59. Number 8, code pathology 88331 for the confirmatory biopsy in same encounter with modifier 59. And last but not least, now, number 9, do not code the pathology for the MOH procedure. So let's go ahead on and put a, now I'm sure about this one here. I don't have nothing else. I'm sure about that. Okay. Let's see where else I have some notes at. Because the rest of the book, I'm gonna let you, that's it. That's all our notes. That's all our handwritten notes. Oh, I went far back. Oh, there we go. That's all our handwritten notes. So what I want you guys to do is, now that you know how to scan your book, let me go back so I can show you again. That way you can go and do all of these here. If it's going to help if you circle the family first. Surround your families first, and then do your highlights, right? Page 110. Trunk, arms, legs, and then size. See how I did that? So this is going to be integumentary. So we went, this is a big section, you guys. This is definitely a big section. But if you don't know, come back to these pages where we already done them. Remember, we have one color for our parenthetical notes. We did a color for our body parts. We done a color for our sizes. When you don't have this in here, then you can follow in the very beginning where we had, and I'll go to the parent. Right here in the very beginning where we had parent first in the description and the distinction. first lesion and then second lesion, circled the family, and then we did the parenthetical notes and we put our abstracts on them. Okay? So we are going to stop right here and conclude integumentary. So like I said, integumentary is a very big section. So we put all the notes that we needed for integumentary. That was my goal, to make sure you guys have all the notes that you need. Now just go back and scan, okay? Go back and surround, which is circle, color, which is your highlighting, accent, which is your underlining, and notate. Thank you guys. Come back. We have others. We're going to do musculoskeletal next. Thank you. Good night.